Hi, this is Kristi Ware with C.S.I, and today I am here talking with Nick Millwood, the mayor of Ringgold, who is running for re-election this November. Thank you, Nick, for coming and talking with us today. I really appreciate it. If you would, just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe some personal hobbies, anything like that you want people to know.
Well, sure. I guess first off, I've been on the council for 12 years. I've been mayor for 8 years. I was on the council 4 years before I was the mayor. I've grown up in Ringgold. I grew up on the Graysville side of Ringgold as a child, and my adult life I've been in the city. My wife and I, we both teach at Ringgold Middle School. We've been married for 24 years, and we have 4 daughters, and we're done. But they're wonderful. My 2 oldest, they're 20 and 21, and my youngest, they are, 12 and 9. Make sure I get those right. They're all wonderful. They're in school in our Ringgold Middle School and Ringgold Elementary now. Keep them together. And one of them, my wife teaches with me at Ringgold Middle School, and so one of our students, one of my daughters, are there with us, and it's great having her there with us. So my hobbies. Goodness, I'm busy. My hobby, I guess my biggest hobby is city stuff. I am very interested in streets and stormwater and, and it's interesting things. And I get to, play an important role in making sure that, the local government is doing the things that it needs to do for everyone. And so that's, I guess, I don't know, maybe that's another job, maybe not as much as a hobby, because it's an important thing and I love it. But most of my free time I spend hanging out with my family.
It's a great way to spend it.
Sure, yes, yeah. That's a little about me, I guess.
Okay. So tell us about what inspired you to run for mayor.
Well, initially, whenever I had first moved into the city, my initial interest was apparently there had been an ordinance passed just for my city, or just for my neighborhood, specific to my neighborhood in regards to parking. And I didn't know about that. We were having a birthday party for my 4-year-old, and the police showed up. And so I was like, okay, that's a little embarrassing. And so I just went to the council meeting just to see what was going on. I was wondering why there was something, happening that I didn't know about. And their response was, well, you should have been here, which was, I guess, fair. But I thought I could perhaps bring something to the council in terms of letting people know what we're going to be voting on before we vote on it. Getting the word out in situations like it's one neighborhood. You can get the word out ahead of time that, hey, this is going on, and get feedback from people. And so I saw a role that I could perhaps, fill, and I was able to do that ultimately.
Okay. And so you have served for 2 terms, is that correct?
2 terms as mayor, and I was on the council 1 term before that.
Okay. What are some of the issues that you believe are currently impacting the citizens of Ringgold?
The higher cost of everything is impacting the citizens of Ringgold. It's the thing that's impacting most people. It's what's impacting our local government. It's what impacts anyone who's using any kind of stuff that you have to buy right now. The struggles that our local businesses, our local governments, and our local households are feeling. To me, that's that our biggest struggle at the moment.
Okay. Are there solutions that you believe you can bring to help with those issues?
Yes, so as a city, we are trying to, the best that we can, develop in a way that we're trying to get to a point to where we can start dropping our property taxes. Our goal as a city that we have talked about, amongst ourselves is long term. We want to get those numbers down to 0. We don't want people to have property taxes, and we can have smart policies to where whenever we do use taxpayer money, we can do it in a smart way where we're leveraging other resources simultaneously. And I feel like we're on that path. it took a little bit of a nudge, and we got that in the form of grants that we've been able to smartly take taxpayer money that we can leverage and develop the community in a way that in the long term we're going to have income that's not going to require money from our citizens and their property taxes. That's our goal.
That is a wonderful goal. Let's talk about the election just a little bit. Early voting, just for the people that may not know, starts October the 16th and runs through November the 3rd. And election day is November the 7th, I believe. And there are 2 candidates that are seeking office, the mayor's office at this time. And so my next question would be, what sets you apart from the other candidate that's seeking office?
Oh, goodness. So I've served with Randall quite a bit. He was on the council for a long time. 2 years ago, he lost that seat. And so we have very different ideas about how to go about local government. I insist that everything is upfront and open, and everyone has the best opportunity to have input and know what's going on. And there's scenarios where that hasn't always been the case, where a select few in a setting outside of the council meeting, try to figure things out, and it causes problems. It causes problems on the council. It causes issues where we have to, clean up messes, and so I have a council. My entire council right now is straight up, straightforward. There is no hidden agendas. There is no, trying to undermine each other. Right now we have something special. And so I would like to move forward in that way, because I think it's what's best for the city, as opposed to moving in the other direction.
Okay. In a recent vote at the Ringgold City Council in regards to the budget, 2 of 6 people voted to roll back the millage rate. Can you tell us what you voted and why?
So the mayor does not vote.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the mayor only votes to break a tie. And so it's actually a rare occasion that I vote.
Okay.
Right. So, and the way that I handle it whenever I got to the meeting was we had 3 meetings about that. We had discussions as the council about it in those open meetings and work sessions, those sort of things. And so going into the meeting, based on who had been most outspoken and the way that I thought the vote was going to go, I went to someone who I thought would probably be on the majority side based on the conversations I had heard. We obviously hadn't had votes to that point. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, I don't want to dodge the question. The difference in the 2 proposals was about, the difference for the city would have been about $40,000 on the year, one way or the other. And so the proposals were so close to each other. The average taxpayer would be about 50 cents difference. About 50 cents difference per month is the average person's effect. And it is an increase. It is a tax increase. But I have a hard time faulting my council. They had a robust debate. It was a tough 3-2 vote. Sometimes that happens. I think that it was something that they handled amazingly, and I only applaud them for it, because these things aren't easy. And so I support their decision.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for clarifying that.
Sure.
What is your vision for Ringgold in the next 5 years?
Well, Ringgold has great opportunities in the next 5 years. We are setting the foundations for wonderful things in the city. We have not just the Benton Coal building that's going to be great for economic development. It's going to be great for public restrooms, so we have events. It's going to be a wonderful space from the block that's between City Hall and our current downtown businesses that have things like, Cafe and Addicts and Ringgold Art and Frame and those. So the potential growth that we have just in our downtown, we call it growing in place, and we're doing it again smartly in a way that was a plan that had a lot of input from the community. To me, that's the most exciting. But we have growth corridors where we have infrastructure in the ground now, where we're going to be able to develop in a way that the development has come up through Fort Oglethorpe, and they're actually running out of area to develop in that area. So it's going to continue to come down 51, and all that's in Ringgold, and our growth opportunities in down Alabama Highway, where now we've got all of that construction done. That's going to be able to develop. I think a lot of the future growth in the county will happen right here in the city, and it's because of infrastructure that we're putting in the ground now to prepare for it.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to say to the viewers at home? Any other information that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Well, so being the mayor has been really something. I remember whenever I first won, being in shock and not being able to process it. And, I went home and I wasn't really able to talk to anybody that evening. And, I just couldn't, I didn't know what it meant. And, but as time has gone by and I go down the road, I see people yell out at me. It's been so rewarding, and it's been a dream for me. I feel so connected to my community and the people that interact with me, and I get to develop real relationships with people in the school, on the streets, not just during campaign season. I get to talk to them on their doorsteps, and I'm living some sort of dream. And with the council that I've had the past 2 years, I feel so full of hope, and I feel like we have such a great opportunity with, the council that I have right now.
And if the people at home need to get in touch with you, if they have questions, how is it best for them to reach you?
My phone number is 423-653-7446. That's a very direct method. Facebook Messenger, I check it throughout the day. That's a great way to do it. Just find me at Mayor Millwood on Facebook, and Facebook Messenger is a great way. And that's probably the two most effective ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming and sitting down to talk with us. And thank you at home for watching and taking the time to get educated about the candidates that are running for the mayor race. Thank you.